So I've been doing a random order going through all 20 OHL teams to do the team history series. And today we land on the Niagara IceDogs. They arrived in St. Catharines ahead of the 2007 2008 OHL regular season after having some rough seasons in Mississauga. They were an expansion team in 1998 as the Mississauga IceDogs. And in their first three seasons combined, they had 16 wins. It was rough. And also, when you're not winning and you're playing in a market where attendance can be questionable, it was not a good scene for the Ice Dogs. Mississauga Ice Dogs would eventually make it to the OHL Championship in 2004, but outside of that, they didn't have a lot of success as the Ice Dogs in Mississauga. In 2006, Eugene Melnick ended up purchasing the Ice Dogs, and he also owned the St. Michael's Majors, playing out of Toronto at the same time. So what he was looking for is to move the Majors to the Hershey Center and have the Ice Dogs relocate to another location. And the Burks ended up purchasing the Ice Dogs and moving them to the Jack Gatecliff Arena in downtown St. Catharines. And really, from that move, they had some great fan support. They still have great fan support. And it just propelled this organization. Just the early success that the Niagara Ice Dogs were able to have. And playing out of the Jack Gatecliff Arena was probably not the most ideal situation, as it was built in 1938. It could only hold 3,145 fans on wooden benches, but it was a fun setting. I had the pleasure of covering the Niagara Ice Dogs that first season, and boy, oh boy, it was a ton of fun. It was a very intimate setting to take in a junior hockey game. The rink, of course, smaller than your typical ice surface in the Ontario Hockey League, so home ice advantage was key, as this team really enjoying the spotlight. And Niagara, they used to have the Niagara Falls Thunders, who ended up moving in the mid 90s. So junior hockey, there was that void, and the Ice Dogs, they filled it. However, the Burks, they own the team. They had a 5-year lease agreement with when they moved the team to St. Catharines. And a part of that agreement is that there would be progress towards a brand new arena. And near the end of that lease agreement, it was looking questionable as to whether or not St. Catharines would build a new arena for the Ice Dogs. And Chatham was actually talked about as a potential landing spot for Niagara if an arena deal wasn't reached in St. Catharines. But needless to say, they were able to build a new arena and moved in 2014. And it is quite the rink. Some great vantage points there. The sight lines are fantastic. And the Niagara Ice Dogs have really enjoyed their home in St. Catharines. So let's take a look at the top 10 scorers. This is just the Niagara Ice Dogs. I might do a separate video looking at the Mississauga Ice Dogs. But leading the franchise in scoring, Andrew Agazzino, 159 goals, 147 assists, 306 points. Agazzino was a part of the first Niagara Ice Dogs team in that 07-08 season, and he was embraced. He became a fan favorite early on, and really that team that the Ice Dogs had that first season, when you had Luca Caputi and Alex Friesen and Michael Swift. The list goes on, but it was a fun group, and Andrew Agazzino led the charge early on for the Niagara franchise. In second, we have Ryan Strome, 100 goals, 181 assists, 281 points. Akil Thomas comes in third. He had 96 goals, 179 assists, 275 points. And then fourth in franchise scoring is Freddie Hamilton, 108 goals, 144 assists, 252 points. And then Alex Friesen, he's fifth, 91 goals, 153 assists, 244 points. Then we have Ben Jones in the sixth spot, 89 goals, 151 assists, 240 points. In seventh, Carter Verhaeghe, 83 goals, 141 assists, 224 points. Dougie Hamilton appears on the list at number 8, 40 goals, 147 assists, 187 points. So it's neat seeing the two Hamilton brothers making it on the top 10 list and scoring for the Niagara Ice Dogs. And then in ninth, Brendan Perlini. He had 92 goals, 94 assists during his time for 186 points. And then rounding out the top 10, we have Kirill Maximov, 89 goals, 92 assists, 181 points. Now, shifting our focus to the goaltenders for top 5 in wins, Leading the way is Stephen Dillon. He had 98 wins as a member of the Niagara IceDogs, beating Mark Vizentine, who's second. He had 89 wins during his time with the Ice Dogs. So Dylan and Vizentine, both great netminders during their time with the Niagara Ice Dogs. And then in third overall, we had Brent Moran. He had 48 wins during his time. Chris Fesertini, he's fourth with 42 wins. And then with 20 wins is Sebastian Dom. He was fifth in franchise wins. And for Sebastian Dom, he was acquired ahead of the OHL trade deadline in 2008 from the Sudbury Wolves. When he was with Sudbury, he helped lead the Wolves to that OHL championship appearance in 2007, and then came to Niagara, and the fans loved him. Sebastian Dom getting the Ice Dogs into the playoffs as the fourth seed and would play the Mississauga St. Mike's Majors in the first round of the playoffs. Dom was fantastic in that series. However, they would lose to John Tavares in the Oshawa Generals in the second round, but still, it's great to see Sebastian Dom fifth in the wins list, mind you, with just 20 wins. His career was pretty short with the Niagara Ice Dogs. At this point, 27 Ice Dogs have gone on to play in the National Hockey League at the time of recording. Right now, there are no retired numbers for Niagara, but you have to figure Alex Pietrangelo or even Carter Verhaeghe have to be considered as maybe the first players to have their number retired, as they're both two-time Stanley Cup champions now. So yeah, that's probably the two players I would think might get their numbers raised to the rafters at Meridian Place. In the playoffs, let's just go back to 2008. I'm not going to include the Mississauga Ice Dogs. In 2008, they went to the second round and were defeated by the Oshawa Generals in 6 games that season. 2009, again, they go to the second round, but were defeated by the Belleville Bulls in 5. In 2010, knocked out in the first round by the Ottawa 67s in 5 games. In 2011, they would go all the way to the Eastern Conference Final and were knocked out in 5 games by the Mississauga St. Mike's Majors. In 2012, though, all the way to the OHL Championship. However, they were knocked out by the London Knights in 5 games. 2013, back in the first round of the playoffs, but knocked out by Oshawa in 5. 2014, another first-round exit, this time to the North Bay Battalion in 7 games. In 2015, they would go to the second round, where they were knocked out by the Oshawa Generals in 5 games. 2016, another OHL championship appearance. Again, they had to play the London Knights, but this time lost in 4 straight games. So only 2 times to the OHL championship, and both times you have to face the London Knights. So some tough luck there for this Niagara Ice Dogs team. But in 2017, they would make the playoffs again, this time a first-round exit against the Peterborough Petes in 4 games. In 2018, they were knocked out in the second round by the Hamilton Bulldogs in 5. And then in 2019, a second-round exit against the Oshawa Generals in 6 games. So we didn't have playoffs in 2020 or 2021, but since then, no playoffs for the Niagara Ice Dogs. They've missed the playoffs in 2022, 23, and 24, which it seems really odd seeing this Niagara Ice Dogs team not in the postseason after all those strong seasons they've had since arriving from Mississauga. But it's kind of, you kind of wonder if maybe some of the off-ice issues have been contributing to the lack of success on the ice. Starting off in March 2019, it came out that the team was fined $250,000 and they lost 2 first-round picks for violating the standard player agreement for giving secret side deals. So that's what the Ontario Hockey League conducted an investigation, and that's what they found. After that, it was reduced after Niagara admitted to the mistake, and then they lost their 2021 first-round pick. Then in June 2022, another fine was issued against the Niagara Ice Dogs after it was found that the team's GM and head coach made inappropriate comments over WhatsApp about a female colleague. They were both suspended by the league, but after that, they were the sons of the Burks who owned the team, and they decided to sell to Darren DeDobler about a month after that investigation came out. And then in the summer of 2023, DeBobler, the new owner, he was suspended 2 seasons after the team was fined $100,000 for a bullying and harassment case involving players on the team. There are also a couple players that were suspended indefinitely for their actions. So it's been a bit of a mess for these last few seasons for the Niagara IceDogs. And like I said, you have to wonder with the things that have gone on off the ice, has that been a factor in why they haven't been as competitive and have missed the playoffs for these last 3 years? Also, though, there's been a lot of trades. So you almost wonder if the chemistry is also another issue. Dobler, when he bought the team, also became the GM after he spent time in Tier 2 in the OJHL. So he came over. He wanted to leave his mark on this team. And really, the chemistry has been off. There's been off ice issues. But I do believe Niagara is heading in the right direction. They've got players like Kevin He, Ryan Robrick. So hopefully they can end their playoff drought next season because they do have the pieces. But I think the key thing is the chemistry. And as long as this team can figure things out, they should make it to the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to challenge for top spot in the Central Division over these next couple of seasons because Brampton is looking really good. But still, I think it's only a matter of time before the Ice Dogs are competitive once again. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if they host the Memorial Cup at the Meridian Center. They've got this beautiful new arena in St. Catharines. They did put in a bid for this past season's Memorial Cup, but with the team, you need to be competitive to win the Memorial Cup bids, and I think that's what held them back last year, but we'll have to wait and see the next time they decide to put in a bid. So that's how I see it from the booth. If you're an Ice Dogs fan, let me know in the comments section down below maybe your favorite moment during the Niagara Ice Dogs time in St. Catharines, or if you're just an Ice Dogs fan in general. Love to see the interaction. I'm going to add this to the playlist, looking at all the OHL team histories. We're almost at the end, so just a few more teams to go. And then we'll see what we move on to next. So again, thank you very much for all your support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.